Today I didn't get a chance to look at into the issue that not the issue, the confirmation. So when you are creating a non-cluster index on a heap table, so whether it will perform table scan or non-table scan. Okay. So that I didn't had a check. I'll check and I'll let you know in the WhatsApp group here. I didn't get a time today to check. And today our topic is procedures. You can call it as a stored procedure. Okay. Stored procedure. What is a stored procedure is? Procedure is a program which contains set of SQL statements. Contains set of SQL statements. Let's say, suppose select star from employee. This is one select statement or not? Select star from department. This is one select statement or not? If I want to run these select statements together, so what you can do is you can select these two statements and run it. So you are able to see the data here. Suppose you want to run these two queries on a daily basis. Every day you want to run and someone has to run. Okay. So what you need to do is instead of keeping these two queries in your notepad and daily running. So what will happen is if you are running on daily basis and keeping these two queries in your notepad or somewhere in your system and daily whenever you want to run this, you are just taking the queries from the saved place and keep it here and you are running. So every time the query is running, so what it will do is the system will not understand the high level language. The queries that we are returning here is in high level language. Okay. So what the SQL engine will do is SQL engine will convert the language from high level to the machine understandable language, which is bytecode. Okay. This is bytecode. So every day if you are running these queries, since these are the simple queries, it is okay. Since these are simple queries, it will not take much time to convert the query from a high level language to the low level language. But if the query is big, then it will take
Sir, please mute all. Some disturbance.
Guys, please. Guys, you are talking. Okay. Okay. So if you are daily running, if you are processing, if you are doing this process on a daily basis, so what SQL engine will do every time you are running these queries, it has to parse. Parsing in the sense, it has to convert from the high level language to the lower level language. So which will take a time. So instead, what we can do is we can create one procedure by keeping these two select statement in that procedure. Create procedure, some procedure name. So USP, users stored procedure underscore refresh employee department as begin. See, create procedure name as begin and end. Just create this procedure. That's it. The structure is create procedure name as begin and end. In between begin and end, you can keep your SQL statements. You can keep many. here, for example, I'm just keeping only 2 SQL statements. So I'm just saying SQL statement, and I'm just not saying it's only 2 select statements. Here I'm just showing you a select statement. You can perform any type of statement. Delete statement you can keep, update statement you can keep, and insert statement you can keep, and select statement you can keep, and anything. You can create a table, drop and create a table. Anything you can keep in between the begin and end, which should be a SQL statement. Okay. This is one statement, and this is one statement. So now I have created this. I have created a procedure. Okay. So when I am executing this, so when you create this, right, you click on create. When select this and click on execute, or click on Alt plus X. Alt plus X. If you click on execute or Alt plus X, then the procedure will be created. So when this procedure is created, so what it will do is, whatever the select state, whatever the SQL statements inside this procedure will be compiled, and it will store the low level language, is the machine code language. It will convert and it will save. So when you, so which means when I am creating this, which means I am just compiling this. If any syntax or any error means, which will throw an error. If the procedure is created means the procedure is compiled. Compiled in the sense, so the procedure is having the machine language, the system understandable, the code with the system understandable language. Suppose if you want to execute this procedure, so how you can do this is by using execute command, execcut. By using this execute command, take this procedure name, execute procedure name, select this procedure and click on execute or Alt X. Executed or not?
Yes, sir.
Every time you want to execute this, no need to execute the 2 queries, and no need of storing these 2 queries in your notepad or somewhere. So simply the stored procedure. When you create the stored procedure, where it will store is, we have created the stored procedure in which database? In sample database. So where it will store is, if you expand the sample database, and here you have a programmability, and the programmability you have a stored procedures. Under the stored procedure, you have the procedure what you have created. It is there or not? If you execute, so every time you execute it, the SQL engine is no need to convert it from high level language to the system understandable language. So it is already compiled. So it will bypass that step. It will bypass that step. So by creating these procedures, you can run n number of times. See, if you want to see the code, how to execute the procedure. Okay. How to check the definition of the procedure. So here, so the definition of the procedure is this. The definition of the procedure is what? This. So how I do know, how I get the definition of the procedure. So see, sp underscore help text. So keep the procedure name here. This is one way. See, here you are getting or not?
Yes, sir.
This is one way. Okay. And the other way, go to here and select the stored procedure. Right click. Either click on modify or create script stored procedure as create to new code editor window, means it will open in the new window. or if you take a clipboard. So it has, so now clipboard means you copied the definition and just do Control V. You got it or not?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, if you select the option script stored procedure create to new query editor window means it will open in the automatically the procedure will get open in the another window. Either the way you can use. One way is sp underscore help text. The other way is go to the procedure in the object explorer, go to the procedure, right click, okay, script stored procedure as create to either new query editor window or the clipboard. You can, if you click on modify, it will also open a new window, but see, it is come up with the alter command. Modify in the sense alter command. What alter will do? If you want to modify, if you want to make any changes to the existing procedure, you can use alter command. Simply in place of create, you can keep alter command. Okay, let's say. So here you got it or not? So how to view the stored procedure. Okay, next here I just wanted to how to modify the procedure. So simple. In place of create, you keep alter. Instead of procedure, you keep alter. Okay. Alter procedure name as begin. Here, I want to make this. Select star from employee where DEP ID equals to some 1001. Okay. For this also, I'm just keeping the same condition. Okay. I have altered the procedure. If you want to see the latest definition of this procedure, just click on this, execute this. You got the latest updates or not?
Yes, sir.
You got the latest updates. Now execute the procedure now. Execute this procedure. The employees who are belongs to department ID 1001 and you are getting department ID 1001. Got it or not? Now, any questions guys still here? Can I go further?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, so in here I'm just extracting the details of employees who are belongs to 1001 and department information of 1001. But now I want to know the employees information of department ID to 1002 or 2001 and the department information of 2001. Then what I need to do?
Alter.
So alter, what you need to do? Again, I need to alter. I need to two double zero one and alter. Okay, now if you execute, if you want to see the definition changed or not, the latest code is there and you are getting the employees who are belongs to 2001 or not and the department information of 2001. Suppose now if I want to have, now I want for 3001, then what I need to do? Every time you want to know the different department ID information. So what you are doing? You are going inside of the procedure and you are making the changes and you are altering the definition of the procedure and then you are executing. Right or not?
Yes, sir.
So instead, so I want to create a procedure which can dynamically take a input from the user, dynamically take a input. So suppose in the first requirement, I have passed 1001. In my second requirement, I passed 2001. And my third requirement, which is upcoming, is a 3001. So every time you want to print the information for different department IDs, what you are doing is you are keep on changing the procedures, altering the procedure and getting the data. So instead, what I need to do, if I pass 1001 as an input to the procedure, so what it should do is it should provide us the
Department IDs.
information that that department employee information and the department ID department information. So single procedure should address our requirement. So how you can do that is, so that is where you have a procedure with how to create a procedure with parameters. Do you guys have any idea what is a parameter?
Yes, sir.
Chapan, what is a parameter?
The value which we give as input to functions or procedures.
The parameter is used to store the value. Parameter is used to store the value. What is the variable? The variable also used to value. But then what is the difference between the parameter and the variable?
Parameters for limited, sir, block limited.
The parameter value
Fixed value
will not change throughout program execution. Okay. The variable value can be
varied.
Variable value can be changed. Variable value can be changed. You can make a change. Suppose when you are, let's say, these are the two queries. These are the two queries. I just wanted to know how long this query is taking to execute. So how will you know?
Execution plan.
How will you know?
Execution plan.
So no, execution plan is fine. Execution plan will give you number of physical reads it is doing and how many records are returning. By choosing that, you can optimize the query. But execution plan will never let you know about how long this query will take to execute. The execution plan will let you know the resources that is using to run this query. What might happen if you run this query? But I want to know. So if you take select get date here, what it will give? Current system time, right? Select get date. I am using the same function here and there. Will it be having the same value?
No, sir.
This the current time get date time and date and time will give, right, before running this query. This will after running this query. If you know the difference between these two timestamps, you will get to know the difference, right? How long this query took,
Yes, sir.
right or not? So if you keep this here, this get date and this get date will tell you the difference. So how long the second query took.
Yes, sir.
So what I will do is declare. Just I will declare at a time. Okay. which is date time. What I will do? Set time equals to this. Okay, here same. I'm just using the same variable, but value is changing or not?
Yes, sir.
So this is a variable. This is a, when you are using a declare at the rate in SQL Server is a, it means you are declaring a variable. Okay, so that's why what I've told here is the variable value can be changed. It might be the same during entire program, or the value might get changed according to your requirement. Okay, so parameters in SQL Server are two types. One is in, two is out. In parameters, it will accept the input from the user. It will store the output from the procedure. Suppose once you execute the procedure, if you want to store the output into one, if you want to store the output, then you can create out parameters. And if you want to pass some input to the procedure, then you can create in parameter. Okay, let me take our procedure. Guys, if you are talking to me, please mute yourself. When you are talking, then only you can open. Jai Krishna, I believe. Okay. So what I want to do here is, since I just wanted to pass, so here I am just creating a parameter. Parameter is what? At the rate DEP ID. What is the data type of department ID?
Integer.
Integer. So department ID integer. That's it. So what I will do is, so if I pass this value department ID, where and all it should go? In place of 1001 it should go, right?
Yes, sir.
In place of this it should go. Just alter the procedure. Procedure with in parameter. Okay, suppose now execute this procedure. Department ID, I am just giving 1001. Just execute. I am passing the value to the department ID. So you are seeing the information, right? What information you are seeing there?
Department ID
Department ID 100.
100. What is the input you have passed to the procedure here?
100.
1001.
Okay. Suppose if I run if I pass 2001,
It will give 2001.
you got 2001 or not?
Yes.
3001.
It give the 3001.
3001 information. If you pass 4001, employee information is not there. Employee information is not there because there are no employees for 4001 department, but the department is there in department table. Okay. Next. Got it, guys? Suppose in this way, you can create a procedure with in parameter. Multiple, you can even create a multiple parameters as well. Multiple parameters. So see. Procedure with multiple
Parameters.
parameters. Okay. So here int and at the rate of job name. I can. What is the data type of the job?
Care.
Now we have created. And
Job.
here. And I want to put one more condition. And job name equals to at the rate of job. Instead of giving a manager instead of hard coding, I am just expecting the value from. Yeah, please. Someone is raising a hand. Yeah, Subbareddy here. Chappan. Are you talking or? Okay.
No, but just by mistake.
Okay, okay, then fine. So I thought you were waiting for anything, something. Okay, let me create a procedure. Yeah. Now,
From the from department.
from department, do you have a job name column available?
No, sir.
No, right? So I have a job name in employee only. So that's why I've just taken. It doesn't mean that you need to keep the parameters, the same parameters in every single statement. No. So you'll pass the parameters here, and wherever this parameter is used, you can use the parameter there. That's it. Okay. Here in this query, I needed 2 parameters. So I'm using 2 parameters. In this query, I need only 1 parameter. And before that, I'm just adding select star from sal grade. Okay. Sal grade. Have you dropped this?
Sal underscore.
Even underscore is not working, right? It seems we have dropped this table. Okay. Okay. No, it's not a problem. So I'm just doing employee 1. Okay. So then alter this procedure. See, this is a query with on single select statement with multiple parameters, and this is a query with statement with single parameter, and this is a query with no parameters. Okay. It doesn't mean that since you have passing the parameters and the parameters should be used. It's not the case. Though you are passing a parameters, it might these parameters might not get used in this. So in general, so but if you are creating a parameters in the sense, if you have usage of the parameters in the procedure, then only you'll create a parameters. Otherwise, no, right? Okay. Okay. Next, just run this now. I'm just running this. Why it is throwing error?
Because we are to pass 2 parameters.
2 parameters. If you're trying to execute this, accept parameter job or also job, it is failing error. Okay. Now what I am doing is job name, which is manager. Now that error line is gone. See. Now you are getting. So the employee belongs to 2001 and he should be a manager. Yes, you got it. And the 2001 department information. And the third query is simply the data from employee 1 table. That's it. You got the corrected output or not?
Yes, sir.
So here what you need to know is, so when you are passing a values to the multiple parameters, so the order of the values that you are passing should be same as your the same as how you define in the procedure. The value should be in the same order. Department ID and job. Here also I passed department ID and job. Suppose if you interchange, it will fail. See. So you are trying to pass. The first parameter is what here? Department ID. In the department ID, what you are trying to pass? Manager. Can department ID, what is the data type of department ID? Int. Can int hold varchar?
No.
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 Okay. So please make sure the order should be same. Suppose if you want to change the order and run, then you have to give the named parameters. So what you need to do is okay. See now. Executed as expected or not? Though I have changed the position of the parameters, but here I have clearly mentioned at the rate of job equals to manager and at the rate of department ID equals to 2001. So what it will do is when it is passing to this, so in place of job at the rate of job, it will go manager, and in place of at the rate of department ID, this value will go. Okay. If you want to change the parameter values and run the procedure, means this is how this is the way. Otherwise, if you want to directly pass the values, means the value should be as same order in the procedure definition. Okay. Any questions, guys, so far?
Sir,
Chappan.
can we do order by, sir? After this execution, I'm getting
No,
result.
no. Order by can't be used. See, here, this is simple, right? Order by, that you can do. Order by what? Some one DESC or something. This you can do.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, procedure with
Out parameter.
procedure with out parameters. Suppose for one particular employee, if I pass one employee ID, suppose if I am passing on employee ID as an input, so what the procedure should return is based on the salary, I want to calculate his PF and provision tax. PF and provision tax. PF is 20% of the salary. Provision tax is 5% of the salary. You got my requirement? I need to create a procedure. For that procedure, if I pass employee ID as an input, so it has to calculate and it has to give us an input. Output as this. Okay. Let me do that. Create procedure ESP underscore employee PF PT as begin end. So what is the input parameter required here? I need to pass an employee ID. What is the output to be stored?
PF and PD.
Provision, which is an int. So if it is a out parameter, you need to keep the keyword out. If you are not keeping this out param out, then by default it is a in parameter. Okay. At the rate of next provision tax. Next provision tax. Provision tax is what?
And out.
Out parameter. Okay. So here, okay. Select star from employee where EMP ID equals to this employee ID. If I run this procedure, what will happen? What will come? If I pass the input 1001, then what will happen? Sorry, employee ID. So that employee ID details will come, but that employee details are where I want to store. So what I want to store is this employee ID equals to
Create employee ID.
employee ID, EMP ID, comma, at the rate
Yes.
PF equals to, you can directly take this, PF equals to what? Sal star 20 by 100. Right or not?
Yes.
Comma,
At
PP
the rate
equals to
for
sal star 5 by 100.
100.
Where are we getting the errors here? So salary, right? Okay. If this employee ID is not required. Okay. It's not required. Okay. Let me create a procedure. Okay. So if you want to execute the procedure, execute procedure. So before running this, let me take one employee ID. Let me take these 3 to 4 employees. Okay. I'm just keeping them here. Okay. So employee ID. Here, next, what I need to do is, you need to store the output of these provision tags and this, right? You need to print this. So if you want to print the values of this, what you need to do is, here you need to define bind variables for them. You need to define bind variables for them. First, PF integer, let's say employee provident fund integer, employee provision tax int. So take this EPF and
అది బిస్మిల్లా మన పిల్లలంటే ఉండదు.
okay, and I need to print this. So I'm just writing select, otherwise you can do print EPF. Print is the command to print the values. This. Okay. Just run it. Okay. Should print the values, right? Let me take so sorry, I need to define them as a out. These are out parameters, right? And keep this 6831. That's it. You're getting or not? 1200 is the employee provident fund, and 300 is the
PT.
provision tax. Okay, if you want to check, just check. Select star from employee where EMPID equals to 68319. So what is the salary? 6,000. 6,000 into 20% is 1,200 or not?
Yes, sir.
Into 5% is 300.
300.
Okay, we are getting a correct value or not? Let's say before going to the executing the procedure, just check for this player, this customer, employee, sorry. 2750. 2750, 20% means take this into an Excel. Keep the 2750 here
550.
equals to this
550.
star 20 by 100. 550 equals to star 5 by 100. 137.5. Just check whether if we execute our procedure, are we getting the same or not?
Change the ID. Here ID.
So chain ID has not changed. So got it or not? Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is how you need to store the values. So the difference is when you are defining the out parameters, when you are executing the procedure, you need to define two bind variables for out parameters. If you have three out parameters in your procedure, you need to create three bind parameters, bind variables, not bind parameters, bind variables. So these are the variables, as I said, right? Declare at the rate of if you keep, it is a variable. And I'm just in place of PF and PT, I'm just keeping this with by saying out and printing down same. So whenever you execute this, what will happen is this 66928 will go to this and it will calculate the PF and PT, those PF and PT. So whatever the values we have in at the rate PF and at the rate PT will come and store to here. The at the rate PF will come and store in the at the rate EPF, and at the rate of PT value will come and store in the at the rate of EPT, employee provision tax. So then I am just printing it. Okay, this is quite you need to work around for out parameters. The in parameters is quite easy only. Just need to pass the value. Okay. These are the procedures here. What is a procedure and how we create a procedure and how we can execute a procedure and how we can modify the procedure and how we can view the definition of the procedure and the procedure with the parameters, which is in parameter and with the out parameter. And also how procedure can be dropped. Drop procedure name. This is our procedure, right? Simply you can do procedure name. Drop. Now if you try to execute this, it will say invalid object name. Now find the stored procedure this, because I have dropped this. So here I've shown you just basic examples that we can use select statements, but in between this begin and end, you can use any any statement, SQL statement. Okay. Anyone has any questions on me?
సార్ మనం మామూలుగా పారామీటర్స్ ఇంటీజర్స్ కానీ అలా పాస్ చేస్తాం కదా సార్, స్ట్రింగ్స్ కానీ.
అవునండి.
సపోజ్ నాకు ప్రొసీజర్ లో ఒక 2 టేబుల్స్ ని జాయిన్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాను సార్. జాయిన్ చేసి అవుట్పుట్ రిజల్ట్ నాకు కావాలి. అప్పుడు 2 టేబుల్ నేమ్స్ ని నేను పారామీటర్స్ లా పాస్ చేయాలి కదా సార్.
Table names you want to pass that as a parameters.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can.
అప్పుడు వేర్ కేర్ తీసుకుని టేబుల్ నేమ్స్ ని అందులో పంపిస్తాం సార్.
See, ఇప్పుడు టేబుల్ నేమ్స్ ని జాయిన్ చేయాలంటున్నారు. అప్పుడు టేబుల్ నేమ్స్ ని మీరు వేరే టేబుల్ నేమ్స్ పెడితే నాట్ ఓన్లీ దట్, రైట్? See, you are thinking of only table names. If the table names change, column names also will change, and the join conditions also will change.
Yes, sir.
అర్థమైందా?
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు మనం టేబుల్, ఇప్పుడు నేను సెలెక్ట్ స్టార్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎంప్లాయీ అని పెట్టేసి స్టార్ పెట్టకుండా నేను సెలెక్ట్ ఎంప్లాయీ ఐడి ఈఎంపీ ఐడి కామా ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్తున్నానండి మీరు మీ క్వశ్చన్కే. సో లెట్ మీ కమ్ హియర్. సెలెక్ట్ ఇది రాసాను, ఎంప్లాయీ ఐడి కామా ఎంప్లాయీ నేమ్ from, so here table name. Suppose if I pass employee table name, this will work.
Yes,
if I pass department, this query will work.
No, sir.
Why? The employee ID and employee name is not there in the department, right?
Yes, sir.
In the same way, when you are making a join, you need to write a join condition, right? So when you are changing the table names, the join condition will not be the same, right?
Yes,
and the
sir.
columns that you are using the select list also not same.
స్టార్ తీసుకుంటే వర్కౌట్ అయ్యింది కదా సార్. స్టార్ తీసుకుంటే వర్కౌట్ అయ్యింది. సెలెక్ట్ స్టార్ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ టేబుల్ నేమ్, జాయిన్ అనదర్ టేబుల్ నేమ్.
యా, స్టార్ తీసుకుంటే వర్కౌట్ అవుతుంది, బట్ సెలెక్ట్ స్టార్ ఫ్రమ్ ఓకే అండి. ఇప్పుడు ఎంప్లాయీ టేబుల్ సెలెక్ట్ స్టార్ ఫ్రమ్
ఎట్ ద రేట్ అని ఒక
I will do left table.
sir.
Okay, good. Join
the
right table.
On
ఇక్కడ
కూడా 2 వేరియబుల్స్, 2 వేరియబుల్స్ ఈక్వల్ ఆన్ ఇవ్వాలి.
This is a dynamic SQL and you can do that. అప్పుడు మీరు ఏం చేయాలి?
4 పారామీటర్స్
క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. లెఫ్ట్ జాయిన్ లెఫ్ట్ కండిషన్,
లెఫ్ట్ కాలమ్ ఆర్ రైట్ కాలమ్ ఈక్వల్ టు రైట్ కాలమ్,
రైట్ కండిషన్ పెట్టుకొని ఈ 4ని ప్రొసీజర్ లో క్రియేట్ చేసుకొని ఆ వాల్యూస్ పాస్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, దిస్ ఈస్ అ డైనమిక్ SQL, యూ కెన్ డూ దట్. ఓకే, ఆ డైనమిక్ SQL parameterized, but this type of requirement will be very rare cases, and if you want you can do that, not a problem.
But in reality, how can we use stored procedures?
For this only. See, you are processing multiple tables, right?
Yes, sir.
See, you are loading the data from multiple files into the table.
Yes, sir.
So integration tool will do only loading the data into a respective tables. Okay, once that is done, every data warehouse or database will have its own data model. Okay, so whatever the data that you are storing using your integration tool, that is might be the raw data. Two ways. And so the plan, the data model plan will be vary from project to project. In my project, how I do is, so I will use this integration tool for dumping the data from the files to a database. That's it. I'll not use any lookups or some kind of things, anything. Simply I load the data from the file as it is into a database. Then I will do transformations on the data from the database end. Let's say I have created a 10 table. I have a 10 files data I loaded into table, 10 tables. Now those 10 tables, I just wanted to perform a transformations like delete inserts I need to perform. So I'll keep those 10 tables delete insert statements into one, and I'll create a procedure on top of it.
Okay.
Then I'll execute I'll call that procedure to, I'll create a procedure, right? I'll call that procedure into the integration tool. After this, loading the data from source to the target, which is in the tables, and next what it has to done, it has to perform transformations. For performing the transformations, I have written some SQL statements. All those SQL statements I'll keep into a procedure, and I'll call that procedure.
Okay.
I'll tag that procedure to the next step, which we can say is a control flow. Control flow is one after one. After this, it has to run this. After this, it has to run this. So, okay.
So for DMLs, we can create procedures.
Sorry.
For DML, DML.
That's what I'm saying. Any SQL statements you can create a procedure if you want to process. Suppose if you want to create a table. So if let's say create table some std, I'm just saying student number int. Okay. If I keep this statement inside of the procedure, for the first time if I run, it will create a table. But next time if you run, what will happen?
It won't execute error.
It will throw error because already the table exists with the same name. So in that case, what you need to do? Drop table. So what for the procedure first will do is, it will drop this table and then it will create. Will this work or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is all the statements you can keep it. And you can next drop the table if exists, and I'm creating a table, and then I'm inserting a data. This is also you can do. All these three I should perform on daily basis for one particular table. In a database, you will not be having only one table, right? You will be having so many of tables.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can keep however how you want to perform the transformation. So that please create a transformation and take the query and keep it here and create a procedure on top of it. That's why I've told you here procedure is a program which contains set of SQL statements. So here, this is one SQL statement, this is one SQL statement, and this is one SQL statement, set of SQL statements. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any more questions? Oh, that's all from my end, guys. We are done with procedures, and this is our last class. Please be practice, guys. So the integration tool is a good one. You can start your career, but once you are into the organization, you must learn SQL. When you are with the integration tool, you must learn SQL. Okay. please
Sir?
don't neglect the SQL. Okay.
Sir, if I had any queries in future, how can I contact you?
Queries in the sense, the support kind of thing, I could not be able to support for any. But if you're from the practice point of view, if you have any questions, you can page me in the chat. So in the same group, and my number is also there in the group. Okay. Okay, because I don't get a time. That's what. Even from next month onwards, I'm just or my company is asking me to come to office. So because nowadays even I am responding because I'm just staying at my home. So if once I am into office, my office will start from 10 to 7. I'll be back by 8:30 to the home. Then it is quite difficult for us. I'll try to answer your questions. Not an issue. Okay. Because if you paste your question in the group, someone might already practice or someone might face the same issue can be answered. And if no one has answered, then definitely I'll reply to you. You can page it to me. If you didn't get any reply from anyone, just page it to me, and I'll in my free time I'll check and I'll get back to you. Okay. I hope everyone got the explanation that I've given to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay or not?
Good, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you for taking.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
But
sir.
don't neglect, guys. Practice.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Chalo.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you.